All this is Hades, and today we're discussing One Piece, chapter 1145, The Blaze in Branch 8's Forest number 2. That's a creative name for a chapter, I gotta say. Yeah, why not, right? I mean, everything's happening on this branch. It's just wild that they have to have numbers and everything like that, like how it's be for streets, but on a tree. That's very unique. Interesting. I gotta give it to Kubo for that. Alright, so yeah. This is this chapter actually not bad at all, I gotta say. Really enjoyed it. So let's just cut right into it, shall we? So yeah, we see Yamato standing there all coolly like holding a sword or holding a katana, with Ulti holding her brother Paige, which she calls Pepe. Yeah, I know it's cringe when I said it, but hey. Anyways, but yeah, of course Paige is not dead. I mean, come on, right? Anyway, then we cut to the main story, where there's a giant Brachiosaurus, which is not a Brachiosaurus, it's Brachiosaurus. I don't know, I find that funny. I just find that funny. But yeah, they go ahead and kill it, and yeah, they say it's very, very tasty, which is okay. And we also learn that this giant shield, forgive me, I don't remember his name at the moment, but his shield is a homie, and that the shield was passed down to him from his father, which is okay. I mean, that's interesting. I've always kind of had a problem with like the homies still being able to be a part of their forms. Like when Big Mom got knocked out, well, supposedly got knocked out during Wano, right? Maybe she was still conscious, which is it's okay if that it is, but I just assume Devil Fruit users, when they get like knocked out, like their Devil Fruit abilities, like whatever they're using, it just completely gets negated, similar to Doflamingo's giant birdcage, right? Stuff like that. But I don't know, maybe not. Maybe it's a different sort because it's actually using a part of her soul. And if you imagine like either Kuzan or Akainu using their devil fruits like to make lava or ice, or where they get knocked out, is that really gonna go away? It's like, okay, I can see why it wouldn't. You know, I get it. So it's like, okay, all right. I guess Big Mom's whole thing stays, you know, in their actual form that they've taken, because they've taken like a life of their own, kinda. Not really, but kinda. It's weird. But yeah, then they talk about how Zeus was the best, the best, like he's like the highest rank of them all. And they're like, and Zoro and Sanjay are like, oh yeah, he's with our navigator. He's kind of our slave. It was so funny. Like I got a good chuckle out of that. Then we cut to them making food for Loki, so Loki could get better. And as they're doing so, Luffy goes into some shenanigans and tries to shove the food down Loki's mouth. And Loki does rightfully get angry. He's like, are you trying to choke me or something, man? And eating lying down, which honestly, don't do that, kids. It's very hard. And Luffy's like, yeah, but you got to eat to get better. And in the One Piece world, yeah, that's kind of how it works, kind of. And then Luffy, oh my, brings this hot cup of curly. Oh no, he says clearly burning. All right, I don't know what it is. Maybe a hot cup of coffee. Maybe Loki needs that. I don't know. And he spills it all over Loki's face. As Gerd says, now he's even got more burns. And Loki's on the ground saying, get him the hell away from me. It's funny, like I'm getting a lot of Dennis the Menace vibes here, kind of like Luffy would be like Dennis the Menace to Loki, you know, to his Wilson, Loki being the Wilson. To you all who know what Dennis the Menace is, good on you guys. And of course, Gur is approving of Loki getting third-degree burns all over his face. Loki's a bad guy. As Loki gets up, he says, "You really want to know where a red hair about red hair and everything," but he's not going to really tell them anything because, well, he's still shackled, his legs still shackled, and he's not gonna spill the beans at this moment. And that they do kind of like mention that they kind of is a similarity between Loki and Luffy. Get it, Loki, Luffy, similar. They're in the story of wanting to join, you know, a pirate crew. As Loki, presumably this is rocks. That Loki wanted to join the rock pirates when he was a kid, And Rock's like, nah, get out of here, kid. I don't care about you. And then Loki's like, all right, I'll challenge you to a fight. And then Rock's is like, so it's death then. And he beats Loki. And even Wyber's like, you seriously pulled a blade on a kid? And Rock's like, shut up, New Gates. Holy freak. But yeah, holy forget. Yeah, Loki's a giant. Like, even as a child, he'd be like way bigger than any of us, but he's still a kid. But to Rox, it's like, nope, you're dead. As Loki said, I was born in the wrong era. Yeah, that's a phrase I've heard a lot on the internet. And then, yep, the rest of the giants trying to take on and defeat the nightmare monsters. As that's going on, Gabon, or yeah, if you prefer, I'm going to call him Gabon because that's his name in the story. Oh, when he was, prolific, as he goes around and starts thrashing some of them, but he's like, just as I thought, there's more now. Three of them. So he detected the God's Knights. He detected the three Genko, Summers, and Killingman. He sensed them. He's like, voices that strange can't be suppressed. I can hear them. Is Elbaf no longer safe? The world really is ending. So essentially, yeah, if there was gonna be a place you thought you were gonna be safe, Elbaf kind of would have been that place. You know what I mean? Like staying there, living there, and not really worrying about what's going to happen from the outside world. Because who's crazy enough to invade the land of giants? You know what I mean? Like who would be crazy to do that? And yeah. And then we cut to the firefighting unit, giants, as they're trying to put out the fires, but it's just not working out for them at all. As we see Saul telling them, "Come on, man, you guys gotta do it. The kids are gonna walk right into the fire. They're walking right into the fire. You guys gotta put it out." And they're trying, but they can't do nothing. As we get Summers and Genko just standing watching this entire thing go down, as he says, "Look, Genko, the kids are about to burn alive. Would that be enough to wake them up?" Then he goes on this diatribe saying, or as he's saying, yeah, it's like some like from the last chapter, like it'd be great, this and that. It's like crazy. Like he's evil. I get it. He's evil. I wonder what he does on his free time when he's not on the job. You know what I mean? Like he must be very very terrible to prison to slaves on Marival. But then we get Jinbei um, saving the day as he gets a lot of water from a cloud and shoots it right into the fire, putting it out. Now I'll say this. At first I thought he was like from the ocean. He just shot it all the way up, but no, it's from the cloud. And I'll admit I'm not a fan that it took out like nearly like 99% of the fire. Like I'm not a fan of that, but I'm okay with it like taking out like a part of the fire, the water, of the fire where the water would have hit where the kids would have walked. I'm okay with that, but like it took out like majority of it. It's like I don't know, Jimmy, could you really, really throw that much fire compared to what hoses of a giant firefighting truck would be able to, spew out? I get it, but you know what I mean. I'm not a fan of that, but you know what? Because the results are, I assume the results will be the same. Just Jinbei and the firefighters both hitting this branch with water is like okay, and then the kids are safe as they continue marching on. Now they got to figure out how in the world they're going to stop the kids. And as that's happening, you get Corin and the rest of the Straw Hats with them. As he says, Jinbei's so cool, and everyone's like, "Good one, Jinbei." As Corin says, "It was nothing. The guys at the school may hate me, but I still consider them my friends," which is like, good on you, Corin. Good on you. Being pretty mature for a child. As Anami says, "It'll be cool, Colin. We'll save them all." And she says, "Yeah." But then Gunko arrives on the ship as everyone's like, "What in the world?" And she says, "So, not all the children were in the school. This one sure seems lively." And surprising everyone. And that's the end of the chapter. Break next week, unfortunately, but it is what it is. So, what's going to happen? First of all, okay, I think Gunko should be able to wreck the Straw Hat Star here. Funny enough, Brooks is probably the one that's going to give her the most trouble. Not because she's a fangirl of him, but because the whole like the way he's like she can't really like hurt him like she would with like normal people because again he's like Bones, yo ho ho. I love that he's the only pirate that does that. I love that he's the only pirate that does that. I'm still waiting for the pirate that has the bird, the parrot. I'm still waiting on that one. But yeah, interesting chapter. I'll give this chapter probably a solid 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it. Everything was like, oh, okay, fine. I think good. Interesting that one of the giants has a homie. Loki got thrashed by rocks as a child. I mean, surviving that as a child, even as a giant child, is like that's a pretty good feat. But yeah, and also Jinbei and the firefighters putting out the fire to help the kids, and also Gunko arriving here. Again, she should just be able to just thrash them all, except again Brooks. But again, maybe she's a fangirl. She might hold back on them all because she's a fan of Brooks. But unless then again, it's like, do you like the music or do you like the art? Do you also like the artist too? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you could be a big fan of the artists and their work, or you could just be a fan of just the music. Like for me personally, like I like a lot of music. I really don't know like much about the artists or anything. I don't really care about them. You know what I mean? So it could be a situation like that, or what I think Oda's gonna go for is genuine, genuine. She's gonna be a fangirl. She's gonna be very happy to see Brooke, and probably want to get something signed. So she doesn't kill him, but she'll kill the rest of his friends. I don't know. Maybe I'm just hoping that she's not a part of the Revolutionary Army, because again, I think that'd be like really like come on, because the whole like wearing the whole goggle things and everything, wearing their signature goggles. Except Dragon doesn't wear them, but maybe he does have a set in his pocket. He's just ready to pull them out when he's ready for the final fight. You know what I mean? I doubt it, but we'll see. Anyway, that concludes this review. If you listened this far, I appreciate it, and I hope you guys have a great day and take care.